So I read this great book by a guy named Dr. Henry Cloud. It's called Boundaries. And it talks about the boundaries in our life and how we have to protect these boundaries. And so I had this realization after reading this book, and that is, if you were at work and you came home and you pulled into the driveway and there was a family and there was a bunch of people in your backyard, and they were partying and they were like having a barbecue and they were playing cornhole and they had the music going. They're in your backyard. They're in your fenced backyard. And they're just hanging out. What would you do? What would you do? Now, it's interesting because if I ask that question in Texas, I get a much different answer than if I ask that question in, San Francisco. Two different areas, right? But most people across the country have said, well, I'd tell them to leave. And I say, well, why? Why would you tell them to leave? Well, because they're in my yard. And, well, I own that property. I own that yard. And they can't just come in and take over.